What's up, Winners and Whiners group? It's me, Detroit Lenny here. Join me, Scott Reichel. Talk a little college football, New Year's Eve action here. South Carolina and Illinois in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. How about that, folks? In Orlando, Florida. You guys are going to like, share, subscribe. Drop in the comment section what you're into. Side, total, prop, or otherwise. Let's get after it. The Gamecocks are -10 here. Total 49.5. I don't have anything in this game. I think South Carolina wins in a rout, but I mean, who's in, who's out? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, both teams are pretty clean. Illinois
Yeah,
has a couple of guys on the portal, but it seems like they're all going to play. Besides that, you have one opt-out, which is Pat Bryant, and that's the wide receiver. That's basically it. Now, they have a couple
yeah,
injuries to some key defensive pieces. It remains to be seen if they're going to play or not, so we'll see what happens there. As for South Carolina, a couple opt-outs. The running back Sanders opted out. Kennard, the defensive end, ended up opting out. But besides that, everybody else is playing. So we kind of have a solid full-strength basically a full strength match between these two
right.
teams. Now, South Carolina was phenomenal to end the season. I would have personally put them in the playoff. I know it wasn't
Agreed.
realistic. I would have when they beat Clemson on the road. I
I
feel
think
like
they
that's
could
a
have
good
made
enough
some
win.
noise too.
They also got hosed against LSU earlier this season on that pick six that was called back on a penalty. So they probably should have been 10-2, but they won their final 6 games. They look great in the process, and I think this team's very solid. Now, Illinois has a good quarterback, and I do think that Altmaier's solid, but I do have to at least point out that this team was 9-3. They were good. Did win the last 3 games against Michigan State, Rutgers, and Northwestern. Not great competition there, but still wins nonetheless.
Fair.
Played Minnesota at home, lost, played Oregon, got destroyed, and played Penn State, lost by 14. So it seems like in most of the step up games, they've not really responded well. And I think that this is a potential step up game. I think it's going to be close. I see a fun game here.
Yeah,
I It's really difficult because I actually like what Sellers and this offense did for South Carolina down the stretch, and it's why I think they probably should be a playoff team in my opinion. But 10's a lot of points for
yeah,
teams that are not really having many opt outs. I think I'm going to go Illinois. I'm probably not going to bet this, but 10 I
yeah.
feel like is a lot of points when I'll put it this way. If I'm going to be laying double digits in bowl game season, I need either a massive mismatch or a bunch of opt-outs for one side. I don't have the opt-outs, and I think
Right.
Illinois can be competitive enough offensively to keep the game close. And Sellers is a very good, I'd say, running quarterback. I think his throwing could leave a bit to be desired. I'll put it that way. He has 17 touchdowns, 7 picks. I like Altmaier, but Sanders is the number one running back on South Carolina, so that might impact the ground game.
Right.
Then again, Bryant's the number one receiver on Illinois, so it kind of cancels out there. I think I'm going to go Illinois plus the points, but I'm probably not going to bet it because I see better bowl games to bet on.
Fair. I think South Carolina wins by touchdown. I don't like 10. So, I mean, it's I think we get points in this game. If I'm gonna bet anything, it's probably an over. I do think you're gonna get some points here, but I don't know if I'd go South Carolina -10. I don't know if I'd take Illinois plus the 10 either. I think it's decided by a touchdown, but I
Yeah.
don't love
I
it.
don't know if there's any
Yeah.
motivation angle too or not, because South Carolina, on one hand, you could argue maybe got hosed by the committee. I don't think they did because they ended up 15th, so they were behind
Mhm.
a bunch. They were behind a couple teams.
Yeah,
I would have put them
exactly.
in based on how well they played this season, but I am wondering. You thought you had a shot at a potential playoff spot. You beat Clemson on the road in your
Yeah.
massive game there at a conference, and you got rewarded with the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. Do
Yeah.
they care? I don't know. They might. Like I do wonder if Beamer will get his guys up for it. I think it's a big game for Illinois. I think Illinois knew that they were going to be getting a pretty good bowl game, but they weren't actually in playoff contention. I am wondering if it's maybe a bit of a letdown spot. You had a
Okay.
pretty good conference season. South Carolina came up short in a couple games that they kind of needed to win against Bama. They lost to Ole Miss, but I am wondering if after missing the playoff, they're going to be fully invested in this game, enough to win
Fair.
by 10 plus points. Maybe, maybe not, but I don't want to lay it. So I'll pass. I'll go with Illinois, but I agree with you about the over.
Fair. There you go. There you have it. The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida. We'll see you guys on the next one. Good luck unless you're against us. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Drop in the comment section what you're into. Side, total, prop, or otherwise. Good luck.